This is a review for chapter 6A. So make sure you have a piece of paper, you're practicing these problems. It would be smart to pause the problems, try them on your own, and then we'll go through them together. And then also you should be reviewing ratios, rates, and proportional relationships. So the first question says, at a farm there are 55 cows and 150 chickens. What is the ratio of cows to chickens? Write in simplest form and explain the meaning. So because we're given cows to chickens, we're going to put cows on top and chickens on bottom. So 55 is going to go on top and 150 goes on bottom. And remember, when we're writing ratios, they should have no labels and be written in simplest form. So I'm going to start by dividing both of these by 5. 55 divided by 5 is 11, and 150 divided by 5 is 30. I can't simplify this any further, so there's my answer. 11 to 30, or 11 over 30. Then we have to explain the meaning. So that's where we write for every, and I like to start with the denominator, 30 cows. 30 chickens. There are 11 cows. So chickens goes with the denominator and cows go with the numerator. So again, ratios, simplest form, and no labels. You're also going to have a question like this, where it says express the ratio 5 feet to 20 inches as a fraction in simplest form. Use 12 inches equals 1 foot. So remember, ratios, no labels, and in simplest form. But when we have these measurements here, feet and inches, we have to get the units to be the same before we can take off those labels. So 5 feet to 20 inches, which tells me 5 is going to come first. So 5 feet over 20 inches. I'm writing them with their labels right now because they don't have the same units yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convert feet into inches. So 5 times 12, because there's 12 inches in 1 foot, gives me 60. So I know that in 5 feet, there are 60 inches. So now I have 60 inches over 20 inches. Now that they have the same units, can take those off and then just simplify. I can divide both of these by 20. And I get 3 to 1. 3 over 1. Again, simplest form, no labels. We had to convert those to the same units first before we were able to take off those labels. This problem says to write as a unit rate. So rates are different than ratios because rates have 2 labels, and because it's a unit rate, we need a 1 on the bottom. So in order to get a 1 on the bottom, I'm going to divide both of these by 8, because what happens on the denominator is that I'm left with 1 day, and that's what I'm looking for, that unit rate, figuring out how many miles in 1 day. Using my calculator, I'm going to take 168 divided by 8, and I get 21 miles. Always check with unit rates. Do we have 2 labels? Yep. Is there a 1 on the denominator? Yep. So we're good here. This problem says 1 ticket to the state fair costs $13.50. 12 tickets cost $1.55. Not $1.55, $155. Is the number of tickets proportional to the cost? So we're figuring out if these two are proportional. So a couple different ways we can do that. We could set up a table, or we can find the unit rate of both. So why don't we do that? So we're figuring out how much each ticket costs. So I'm going to start first with $13.50 over 1 ticket. That one already has a 1 on the denominator, so we're good there. Then let's do, I changed my mind. Let's make this kind of into a table. let's see here, 12 tickets, $155. Okay, so the rate here is $13.50 because when I take $13.50 divided by 1, I get $13.50. When I take $155 divided by 12, I get $12.92. These rates are not the same, so this is not proportional. We would write that sentence as, it is not proportional because the rate of, and then the two things we're working with here, money to tickets, is not constant. Okay, and if it was proportional, we would use that same sentence, but we would just say it is proportional because the rate of money to tickets is constant. But since it's not, we have to plug in those nots. And the last question says, is the rate of hours to money proportional? So here what we're gonna do is we can either take top divided by bottom for all of them or bottom divided by top. So I am gonna do, I'll just stay consistent here. I'm gonna do top divided by bottom. So in my calculator, 1 divided by 1750, and I'm gonna round to the nearest hundredth. So I'm gonna get 0.06. 2 divided by 35, 0.06. 3 divided by 5250, 0.06. So right now, it looks like it is proportional, but we always have to go to the end of the table, okay? If we're seeing that they have the same rates, go to the end. 4 divided by 75, 0.05. That one has a different rate, so this is not proportional. We would say it is not proportional because the rate of hours to money is not constant. So if they all had that same rate of 0.06, then it would be proportional. But because that last one had a different rate, it is no longer proportional.